Welcome, everybody. I'm Marc David, founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. Here we are back in the Psychology of Eating podcast, and I am with Eric today. Welcome, Eric.
Hey, Mark.
All right. Glad you're here, Eric. And the question I'm going to ask you is if you could wave your magic wand and get whatever you want, with food, body, health, whatever challenge is up for you, what would that be?
For me, I would love to lose some weight in my gut area. I've got about 30, 35 pounds extra weight in there. And I think that's being fueled by kind of late night snacking and bad food choices.
Wow. How long has that extra weight been there for you?
Pretty much my whole life, until I was 21, 22, when I started working at a burger restaurant, it kind of started compiling on. There was one time in my life when I actually got to a really good weight of about 190. I'm about 230, 225 right now, about 5 years ago. So that was probably the only time out of my 20s where I've been lost the weight.
How old are you now?
I'm 37.
37. So how did you lose that weight?
I had a really good support system I had a roommate who was dieting and exercising as well, and just a good regimen of yoga and gym time and really strict with the eating. Yeah, that's kind of.
So what do you imagine? What do you believe is your sort of natural weight? If you were doing things right, but without forcing it too hard, without crazy exercising and crazy dieting, if somehow you were just eating the way you would be eating naturally and moving the way you would be moving, what do you think your natural weight would be for you?
Probably 190.
190.
Yeah.
And again, you think the extra weight comes from late night eating and late night eating. And what else?
Yeah, bad, just a lot of junk food. That's the wrench in my healthy eating is just eating out and eating junk food, eating fast food, getting something quick and easy. Mm-hmm. I noticed that the weight just doesn't come off. It just kind of stays on. But when I've been on a whole plant-based diet or something that's really natural and fresh, then the weight just kind of comes off. But yeah. So
have you ever been a vegetarian?
I've eaten close to that, but I've never had a problem with eating a little bit of meat. I find it's a great way to get protein, but I love vegetables and I'm a big vegetable person. So I think that's I enjoy that. I feel good when eating fresh veggies. That's when I really feel the best.
Mm-hmm. So if you were to guesstimate percentage wise, what percentage of the 100% of the time that you eat, what percentage would you say, I eat the way I shouldn't. I eat the way I think I shouldn't about 30% of the time, but I eat the way I should about 70%. What would be the numbers roughly for you?
Maybe 50%. On an average week, I try and if I'm eating at home, then the numbers I naturally just kind of eat better. But whenever I'm not cooking, so it kind of varies on the week, but maybe 60 or 70%, maybe 60% I'm eating good. And then the other 30 to 40% of the time, it's just kind of free for all. just eat to try and get satiated and full. That takes.
So what do you usually go for when you're not taking as good a care of yourself food wise? What's the junk food for you? What's the not so good foods for you?
Oh, it's been Chinese takeout lately, orange chicken and rice, beef and broccoli, a big plate of food. I know something that can get me satiated. I know I'm going to be full by the time I eat it. That's kind of why I do it in the first place. Cause I get to a point where I'm just starving. So I'm just okay, what can I go get that's ready right now? Usually that's a big plate of, maybe chicken sandwich or just chicken and beef and broccoli with some rice. Yeah. That's my go-to.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So Chinese food, anything else?
Usually chicken sandwich with some barbecue sauce. That's fried chickens usually, anything fried chicken and some rice or a piece of carbs really just when I kind of get my hands on a rice bowl or something. Yeah, something along those lines.
How are you with sugar and sweet foods?
I'm okay. I used to chocolate used to be my go-to, but I kind of tapered off of that because I felt like it wasn't have a good effect on my health. So I'm pretty good. I don't usually, I try and incorporate like a little something sweet with my meal or something so I don't like crave it by the end of the night. But like I don't feel on a daily basis that I'm constantly craving sugar, but there's definitely times when I'm just like, nothing can fill it.
Mm-hmm. How old were you when you first started becoming aware that nutrition was something interesting to practice, or eating the right food was a useful concept?
Probably about 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty recently. I always knew that food probably had an impact on my body, but I was always, it was never was the holy grail or something that I felt like I needed to get a handle on, because it just, my symptoms were just my symptoms and they weren't big enough to grab my attention until the symptoms started getting bigger and screaming and screaming.
So you figured that out 5 years ago. That must have been a revelation.
Yeah. It's been, yeah. I tried like juicing and GAPS diet and elimination diets and just started getting curious and playing with what's going to support me. And yeah, it's been a turbulent journey.
So you're 37 years old now, and you said the last time you were at 190-ish was you were in your 20s?
It was about 5 years ago.
Oh, 5 years ago.
Yeah. I was 32. For me, it was like the support. I had so much support from, I didn't have a kid. I have a 3-year-old now, and I had just time and energy and money and someone that I live with that was dieting with me and working out with me. And it was just easy. It was just, now it's like I feel like I'm trying to keep my head above water sometimes with my son. So it's a lot. Like the kind of recovering perfectionist of trying to make everything fit in the box of being perfect, of I need this amount of time, or I need to cook this, or I need to cook that. And with a kid, it's just like things will never be perfect. So I really enjoy, he like pushes me. He's like my motivation to like do good for myself and to do good for him. So he's like a light in my life. And at the same time, it just makes it a little bit more difficult. And it's been 3 years and I never got back 3 or 4 years, and I've never been able to get back to where I was.
Mm-hmm. What's your parenting situation like? Is your son living with you full time?
Yeah. So I'm stay at home, and my wife's gone throughout the day, and then we got like 2 days off. So yeah, I'm taking care of him full time. Yeah, he's just, oh my goodness, he lights me up. He's like my favorite person in the world. Like as difficult or as much as he like kind of pushes my buttons, he's just, yeah, like I just look into his brown eyes and he's just like, oh yes, oh, like come and give me a hug, and I'm like, yes, everything's worth it.
Yeah, I know that feeling. How does your wife feel about your weight?
She's so loving and supportive. It's not really, she never had an issue with it, or it's never bothered her, not even once. She's very supportive of just how I look and just loving me for who I am. Yeah.
How is her relationship with her weight? Is she happy where she's at?
Yeah, she has like a really good relationship with food. She has like a very monotone diet where she kind of eats the same things, and it makes her happy and gives her the energy throughout the day. And so there's like no stress. I'm a little jealous almost that she can just eat the same thing over and over again and have it sustain her. But yeah, she's got herself under control.
Yeah. So is she the breadwinner right now in the family?
Yeah.
How's that for you?
It's good. We've been together 15 years, and we've been from like the bottom of the barrel to the top, to having money now. So it's like, I do my best to support her when she's gone and to work on my business. And when she comes home, I just tell her how grateful and just how appreciative I am. And just, it's getting to a place where I'm kind of going on my own career, and that's taking off, and that always lights me up. It's a process. It's a process. So yeah, I want to get to the point where I'm making more money, and she's not the only breadwinner, but I'm putting one foot in front of the other, and just grateful for trying to be grateful for where I am right now.
Yeah, good for you. Tell me about your parents. Are they around? Are they alive? Are they near you?
Yeah. They're both in California, so they're the next state over. I have a really good relationship with my mom. She's like my best friend. and we've always been close growing up. Me and my dad have kind of had some ins and outs, and when my kid was born, my dad kind of showed up. And I don't know, it's just kind of meh.
Mm-hmm. And how's your dad with his weight?
He got a big pot belly like me too. Mm-hmm. So I guess maybe it's genetics, but we both keep our weight there. But yeah, he never stresses about it. I never hear him complain once about his weight. Never growing up is never like he never put much energy into it.
Mm-hmm. So when you were, a handful of years ago at your weight of 190, what did that feel like for you?
It felt really good. It felt like I had a routine and a schedule, and it felt like I could see a lot of benefit in the work I was doing. Like work out and look better. Like, yeah, I felt like I had maybe how do I articulate this? I was just okay with it. Like there was no, I don't know, it felt really good. It felt really good. I felt really supported. Like I had people in my corner. Yeah, that was super nice. Mm-hmm. Just on the same path as me. No, it's just kind of like me taking on the world a little bit.
Yes. So physically you felt good.
Yeah.
Were you worried about gaining the weight back?
No, I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I think it came back on when I moved out of there, and I stopped getting that support, and then I had my son, and I moved in with my wife. So things became more difficult. I started having less time to cook. I had to stop having less time just for me in general. So now it's like there's a messy, whereas before I could just walk into the kitchen, look into the fridge with whatever I put in there. Now there's two other people living at my house. Now there's I walk into a messy kitchen. Now it's like I've got all these other tasks to kind of take on before I can even start cooking. And then it just compounds. And I'm just like, it starts giving me anxiety. And I'm just like, I just kind of get out of the situation and go get some food and feel better. And then try and take it on after that.
Mm-hmm. What's other than weight, other than food, if we took that out of the conversation for a moment, what are the biggest sort of worries for you in life? What are some of the things like this is the shit I worry about?
A part of it's like being stable and having stability in my life, like having, I don't own the house, so I'm renting. So it's like having a safe place for my son and for myself, having this sense of just ease, I guess, of just everything's going to be okay. Mm-hmm. If something, a little pressure for me to figure it out for my kid. I want him to see me successful, and I want him to lead a good life, and I want to feel successful. This is, in my career and in life, and just the way I can show up. And I can't do that if I'm constantly eating junk food and overweight. Then I don't feel good throughout the day, and I can't show up for my kid and myself and for my wife. And so I want to know what it's like to not have this weight on me, since it's been on me, except for that one period. I've always had this gut, and I've wondered what would life be like without it? What, just to be healthy, not to have digestive issues from eating all this fried crap. I'm almost 40, and I want to have a sense of ease, of just being okay, a sense to just breathe. Mm-hmm. I get it sometimes when I'm just in that moment with my son and just eating good food in my life. And then, life comes in with a capital L and just kind of kicks my butt and knocks me down a peg or two.
What kicks your butt?
It's always something physical. It feels like anytime I get to a good place where I'm getting in a rhythm and losing weight, something happened. It's been so hard to pinpoint it. I'll get a wart on my foot, or I'll have a dentist problem, or it seems like every time I start to get in a rhythm of figuring life out, or figuring diet out, or figuring that out, that something just sticks spoke in the wheel and I go flying off the bike, and I'm like spending the next couple of weeks to a month trying to pick myself up again, trying to figure out what the heck just kind of happened, people dying or physical things or just whatever. It's always seems like something.
Mm-hmm. How would you like to see your relationship with your son different from the way your dad did his relationship with you when you were younger? How would you improve on that?
A lot of kindness, a lot of presence, gentleness, a lot of. My dad was never really there. He was there, but he wasn't there. Like he was at home, but he was on his computer. He wasn't physically, mentally present for me. So the best thing that I can do is be there for my kid, is be kind to him, and be present. And just show up for him in just an unbelievable way of just being able to use my words to discipline and my actions to show him how a real man is, how a real man treats someone that's a little baby.
Yes. When do you think you realized that you wanted a different kind of relationship with your dad, or you wanted your dad to show up different? Was there a point when you were younger when you realized, God, this guy's not really here for me?
Yeah. I mean, I remember going to see a therapist when I was younger.
How old?
Maybe in my preteens or early, like 12 or 13, around there, I think. And I remember him telling me that my dad could never show up for me in the way that I would want him to, that I can't expect for him to show up because he's just not that person. So I just never expected him to ever show up and be any more than just him, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, and when he showed up again out of nowhere, it's when my kid was born and really helped out financially and stuff. That was really nice. But without a real deep talk, I don't think that we're ever going to have a good relationship. And he's not really interested in having a deep talk. So that's just kind of put the bookmark in it and put the book back on the shelf, because that relationship's just kind of over, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So you were 12 or 13-ish, you saw a therapist, and therapist sort of said something like, well, yeah, your dad can't be the person you want him to be. Were you aware that you wanted something different?
Yeah, I was just so mad, like expecting him to show up or to care or to somehow like make an effort to be my dad in a better way.
Just give me some examples of what that could have looked like for you that would have made a difference.
I felt like he was too busy, like too busy for his own kid. Like even when he was home, he was like on the computer. Like his idea of quality time with me was him working on the computer while I talked to him. So it was like, yeah, I'll be here for you, but I'm not mentally going to show up and be there. So that was super frustrating. Never had a strong male role model in my life. It was always just me, just me against the world, I guess. Yeah. Trying to figure it out, trying to teach myself, trying to make a life. Yeah, trying to survive. Yes,
understood. Do you have male friends in your life these days?
Yeah, I do. I got a really good, he's like 10 years older than me, and he's like my best friend ever. And we just talk all the time, and he's like my confidant and my he's like, oh, I feel so blessed. I feel so blessed to have my best friend, Sam. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a brother, and we've rekindled our relationship. And it's like, as I move closer to 40, it's about just, how do I show up? Because I was just showing up for myself just to survive, just to make it through the day. Like with all the health stuff going on in my own life and financial stuff, it was just like, how do we get through to the end of the day? How do we survive and not sleep on the street? So it was like, now it's a different era in my life of how do I show up to help people instead of just helping myself. So, And as I show up like that more, like these relationships, like with my best friend, like I can have a better relationship. I've noticed my relationships like that improve. And I'm just so grateful, not having that male guidance or anything, like having a good guy friend or guy friends is like, that support is like invaluable to me.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, let me share a couple thoughts with you and see where we go from here. You want to lose weight, and what I'm getting from this conversation is that losing weight for you is this very strange kind of rocky experience, because there's always sort of these little things that come up that can derail you from really taking care of yourself. Like just something happens, whatever it is, little health this, little health that. Maybe you're too busy. Maybe you're really hungry in the moment. You go for some, Chinese food that is not the best thing for you. But it's just in the moment, little things can come up, and the day, little things can come up. And it just seems like things happen that sort of steer you away from sort of things that you should do, but you just get kind of knocked off your horse oftentimes. Is that a good rephrasing of what sort of happens for you when you're just kind of thinking about taking care of yourself with food and thinking about weight loss?
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And there's also this piece where you said, when you did lose weight, you had a certain kind of support system. There seems to be a certain kind of support that really helps you thrive. And when you had that, you flourish. When you don't have that, not so easy.
Yeah.
So let me tell you how my brain is working around all this. To me, before you can lose weight, because you kind of know what you have to do on a certain level, because you've done it before. It sounds like you have to eat a certain healthy way. Would you have to exercise more to lose weight, or do you think just eating a certain way would do it for you?
I think just eating. I really enjoy like resistance training. It makes me feel strong, and it gives me a reason to work out. Like if I'm working out, then I can't go eat crap food. I need to eat good food. So I think it's a part of it, for sure. Part of it. I don't know if I can get down to the weight. All I know is when I did get down to the weight, I was doing a lot of resistance training and a lot of running and just a lot of pushing my body.
Yes. Do you tend to be a fast eater, moderate eater, slow eater?
Slow. I try and sit down and take everything off my table and take 3 deep breaths and put on some good music. And it's like my happy time. That's like, it's pleasure time. That's when, I can, food's good. And when I struggle when I make healthy food, and sometimes it's like, this doesn't even taste good. Like the sauce isn't good, or I can't, and I just kind of nibble at it because I don't find any pleasure in it. And, but I spent 3 hours cooking it, so I have to eat it. I don't have another 3 hours, I got a little kid. So, I'll just pick at it, and then later in the day I'll be starving, and I'll never be able to get full again. So it's when part of the reason I go out to these places is like, with this huge plate of food, I know I'm going to get satiated. I know I'm not going to be looking for food. I know I'm going to be full, even if it's like an uncomfortable type of full. At least I know I'm satiated.
Yes. Okay. So let me talk big picture for a moment, and then we'll narrow down to specifics. To me, what's happening for you is that your relationship with your body, your relationship with your weight is very deeply connected to your relationship with your dad, your relationship to yourself as a man, and now your relationship to yourself as a father, having a son. It's all the same. It's all on that same plate. So this is all about you and what it means for you to be a man. This is all about you and what happened for you as a boy with your dad. And it's about you and, okay, whoa, I'm this dad now, And how do I do this? Given that I didn't necessarily have the world's greatest role model, but I know what doesn't work for sure. And here's the thing, our same-sex parent, so for you, your dad, is going to be who you model after unconsciously. This is just how it works. This is who you're going to model after in terms of how you embody in this world. So he's the first big human male that you've encountered. From the time you popped out of the womb, you got your mama, got a great relationship with her. Okay, that's handled. And you got your dad. Don't have a great relationship with him because he wasn't present. And because you guys, my guess is because you didn't get a chance to bond with him in a way that worked for you, in a way that you got the message, Eric, you're loved, you're contained, I got you. Here's I got you from your dad. You didn't have I got you. You felt your mother had you, she got you, but your dad didn't quite have you. And therefore, it's going to be harder to model male embodiment. So it's going to be easier for you to embody a lot of the feminine qualities because you're better bonded with your mother. So it's going to be easy for you to embody qualities of, just connection, intimacy, emotional intelligence, and a certain sensitivity to your body, a certain understanding of your body, a certain flow in your body. And when it comes to the father for a young man is the one where you're going to feel your solidity. You're going to feel your muscles. You're going to feel your presence. You're going to feel like, yeah, I got a dad. That's my dad over here. And this is me over here. He has a body. I have a body. I'm in this, he's in his, I'm in mine, and he's got me and I'm protected. So you didn't have that. When I usually don't take notes in these sessions, but I really wanted to make sure I captured your words when I asked you, how would you do fatherhood different with your son, knowing what you experienced with your dad, knowing what doesn't work, how would you be a different father for your son? And the things you mentioned in order were kindness, presence, gentleness. Kindness, presence, and gentleness. And those are the qualities, yes, you want to give your son. And those are the very qualities that you didn't get that you have to give you. So to me, when we become a parent, we have a strange opportunity, especially when you have a same-sex child, you have a very particular opportunity in a weird way to kind of relive your childhood and to kind of have a strange sort of do-over and enjoy all the things that you enjoyed when you were a kid. Take them here, go there, do this, do that, play this, play that. Like, that's fun. And you get to be a kid again. You also get to do it better. And at the same time, you're reparenting you. So that's the piece I want you to get here. There's as much, I would just love for you to turn your attention more towards Eric reparenting Eric. And by reparenting, let's actually say refathering. 3 most important qualities you need are kindness, presence, gentleness for you towards you. And in fact, I'm going to emphasize the middle one, which is presence, because that sounded like the most important one. You said my dad was there, but he wasn't present. His way of connecting was he's on the computer and kind of not paying attention, and you're like doing something and talking. So not present. So what's going to happen is we will often repeat the boo-boos that happen to us as children. We'll repeat those as adults. So if my father wasn't present to me, then I'm not going to be present for myself. If I didn't experience kindness or gentleness, then I'm not always going to be kind and gentle to myself. And the presence piece is a big one, because I think the biggest challenge for you when it comes to like actually doing all the things that you would know to do or need to do to shapeshift your body a little bit, the primary ingredient for you is presence with self. You didn't get that from your dad. You didn't get I got you, Eric. I see you. I feel you. You're not in a good mood today. You're in a good mood today. Oh, here's what you need. Wow. Let me see if I can jump in there. You're accustomed to that. That's how you were raised by him. So you became accustomed to not having the male in your parents be present to you. So there's a part of you that's not going to be present to you, or it's going to struggle. So when you're not making the right choices for you, actually, we can probably trace it back to you really not being fully present to you. When you're ravenous, if you get to the point during the day where you can say to me, I'm ravenous, I'm really hungry, that means that you weren't present to yourself. You wouldn't let your kid go ravenous. If you did, it meant that you were not present to him. So there's a part of you that's feeling overwhelmed because not only do you have to be present to this little human, which is hard enough,
yeah,
you got to be present to yourself in this process. And that's a double whammy because it's not something that was modeled for you from your own dad. So I wish for you to give almost equal presence to you as you do to your son. Ideally 50-50, but even 51 him, 49 you, but real close. It doesn't mean you're taking away from him, by the way, at all. There's going to be the part of you that so wants to overgive and overcompensate, so you're not the absent father, so you're not the father that's not present, that then you're going to end up missing yourself. So yes, your son needs you to be present to him. You're doing that. Your son needs you to be present to you. Reason why dad wasn't present to you is he wasn't on some level fully present to himself. That's his reason. And probably that was modeled from his father. And that was modeled from his father. No blame, it's just what the world does. So this is you in this male lineage that you're in, learning how to, yes, not only be present for your son, you've got that down. Of course, you're going to get better at it. You wish to be a good father. You wish to improve upon your lineage, and you're doing that. In fact, you're doing it to the point where you're being a stay-at-home dad. So that's very honorable. And alongside that, you have to refather you. You have to be as vigorously present for you as you are for your son. As vigorously committed to your well-being as you are to his. I think, Eric, what happens for you is that when you feel overwhelmed, which I think happens for you, is just too much. When you get overwhelmed, what's happening is there's a part of you that's leaving you. There's just a little part of you that's checking out, like, I can't handle this. But really another way to say that is, I'm not being fully present for myself. So to be fully present for myself in a moment where you're feeling overwhelmed is like, okay, wait a second. I'm overwhelmed right now. Deep breath. Stay in your body. Like, you have to teach yourself to re-inhabit your body. There's a part of you that leaves your body because you never had a good role model to enter your body and stay there. Your dad probably wasn't doing that in his own body, and he wasn't doing that for your body. If he did that for your body, you would have felt held, loved, contained, hugged.
It's really scary to stay inside of my own body sometimes, and it's just so much like anger and hurt and sadness. So it's just, I feel like I'm just surviving to check out sometimes, just to kind of get through the moment.
Yes, I understand that. So what I'm suggesting is, from this moment forward for the rest of your life, what your practice is inhabiting your body and trusting that it's a good place. Not that it's always going to be fun, not that it's always going to be easy and pain-free, but you can be with yourself even when you're in pain. Because what happens is when you go into pain, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain, there's a part of you that just wants to check out. Like that's what you know to do. That's kind of what you were taught somehow.
Yeah.
And it's perfectly understandable. So as you're raising a son and you're holding your son and you're containing your son, you're also doing that same thing for you. You're teaching you how to do that for you. It's not just for him. So I want you to start to think in terms of, I need to give that hug to me. And I need to reassure me that even when I'm in pain, I'm not going to stray so far where I'm out of my body and I'm not present to myself, which means you ultimately won't be that kind or gentle to yourself. You'll do things that upset your system. You'll eat food that you know kind of doesn't serve you because not all of you is there to take care of you. So this isn't going to change overnight. But what I'm trying to say is what I think is happening is that you're being born again. But this born again period of time is that you're being birthed at age, 30 something into your body as a man like never before. And what that means is that there's certain qualities that are very masculine, that are very male for the male body: endurance, presence. I mean, I'm just going to stay present to my experience, even though it's uncomfortable. When I asked you if you had male friends and you got real excited and said yes. So I love that for you. And I'm also interested if that friend or another male friend can be, I would love to see you enroll a male person, friend, coach, whatever it is, to be your support system in this conversation, in you taking care of yourself. And I don't mean about weight loss. So weight loss will come to you as you inhabit your body and be present with yourself and birth the man that has been wanting to be born. Part of that is patience as well. Presence often implies patience. Like for me to be present for my child, sometimes you need to be patient. They're running around like crazy. They're screaming their head off. You got to be patient. Like this too shall pass. They get up real early when you don't want to be getting up. You just got to be patient with that stuff. You got to be patient with yourself that you're not there yet, but that's the direction you're moving in. And part of it is also there's, let me just stop there. How's this landing for you?
Yeah. I definitely thought, like, why didn't I just ask for that type of support? And it's just made me feel vulnerable. So I just need to be a little bit vulnerable and start asking very specifically for what I need. I think that's beautiful advice that I needed to hear.
Yeah. One of the wonderful attributes of a man is that men can be very good at teamwork. Men can be very good at having each other's backs. Men can be very good at supporting each other. Men can be very generous in uplifting each other. That's the kind of men friends I have. Sounds like that's the kind of men friends you have. Cultivate that. Go to that well. Take advantage of that. Invite that in, like deepen that relationship and make it work for you. And that's a way for you to embody your masculine by creating masculine connection in a way that supports you. i.e., Eric raising his hand and saying, hey, men, here's what I need. You couldn't raise your hand when you were, I don't know, 5, 10, 12 years old and say, yo, dad, can you please get off the computer and pay attention to me and be more present and show up in my life? Like, you couldn't do that. That's not your job as a child. No child is expected to understand how to do that. You could not do that at that time. Now you can do that. Every time you are not present for yourself is a moment where you're repeating the boo-boo from childhood, where dad wasn't present to you. And no blame, because that's just what you were taught to expect and to experience. So you being present to you is you refathering you. You being present to you is you teaching yourself how to stay in your body and be your own man. What else are you thinking, Eric, or feeling right now?
It makes a lot of sense that having trouble asking for that help. It was definitely an issue that was growing up with my dad. He would never give me help unless I asked for it. And he made it very uncomfortable for me to ask for help. So I can see how this cycle of not asking for help and not getting it and not. So yeah, I need to smash that cycle and stand up for myself. Yeah, like you said, start being present when I check out so that I can. Yeah, it's scary. It's a scary thought. It's some 37 years of getting out of the body as soon as things get difficult and overwhelming. So getting back inside.
Yeah, breathing.
Staying inside.
Breathing helps. Deep breathing helps. Being aware when you're checking out, reminding yourself, oh, hey, Eric, you're checking out right now. How does that feel? Is this what you want to do? How do I breathe myself back into my body? I love resistance training for you. I don't know, it's, if you can get out, but damn, get some dumbbells for your house, and just have some dumbbells there that you can push yourself with. Just like every day, even if it was 10 or 15 minutes, to just grab some iron and just get into your muscular structure, like get into your manhood in that way. It's because you said it works for you. Yeah. And it just gives your body all the correct messages that you're needing right now, because in order to do resistance training, in order to lift weights, you got to be present. And you have to effort, and you have to use your strength, and you have to use some of your breath, and you got to be present. The weights ain't going to lift themselves. You got to go. So that's just a great physical exercise for you. So even if you can't get out during the day, have something in your house. Get online and buy some cheap used weights. Is that a possibility for you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I got some at home that I have to. It's like mandatory meditation for me is lifting, pushing weight around. Yeah, it's definitely. I go so hard sometimes, like I end up getting injured. So it's like, trying to find this balance of like gentle, like those three things I said, I guess, gentle, presence, and kindness, Yes. Yeah.
And I'd love for you to recontext pain, injury, and symptom and disease for you. Pain, injury, symptom, disease, things that derail you. So pain, injury, and symptom can derail us without a doubt. So I get that. I also would love for you to remind yourself that anytime that there's something physical going on that you say, oh, this just derails me, I want you to see if you can recontext that and say, okay, there's something physical going on for me. How is this trying to teach me right now? How is this trying to help me grow? How is this trying to help me have a better relationship with self and with body? Sometimes that might mean resting up. Sometimes that might mean caring for yourself, being present for yourself. Sometimes it might mean pushing through. I don't know. That's up to you to determine in the moment. But to stop seeing those things purely as obstacles and to look at how is this part of my man warrior training mode. So I'm going to say right now, for you, there's warrior energy is probably good for you. Evolved warrior energy.
Okay.
Not ready for king yet. That's okay. But the things you're doing is putting you on track. The warrior, first and foremost, has to be in his body in order to be an effective warrior. So it just has to be in his body, just embodied. So this is about you getting more and more comfortable in your body, getting help and support, however you need it. Even if it means sitting down with your friend and writing a schedule, writing out a meal plan for the entire week, if that helps, or a general plan, or saying, something, I want to see if I can do, here's a good target. See if you can do 80% good food and 20% the other stuff. See if you can hit 80-20. Not 100%, not 90%, just 80-20. Like just have that as a target for the next small handful of months. Does that sound doable?
Yeah, it sounds like it's a lot less pressure on me when I don't hit 100.
Yeah.
It sounds like a more gentle approach to the all or nothing. So, yeah.
Yeah, no all or nothing. No, 80-20. 80-20. Please shoot for 80-20. There's something else I want you to put on your to-do list here. And this is this will take however much time it takes, but the goal is called Eric getting to the point where he sees his dad as a guy who was once 5 years old, 10 years old. He was once 37 years old. He was once a dad to a 3-year-old little boy. And at that point, guy didn't necessarily know a lot about how to be a good dad. Because his dad, he might have been, I don't know, but he might have been a far better dad to you than his dad was to him. Might have been far better.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah. So good on him. Improvement. When you could eventually see that your dad was just some guy, just trying his best, and that what you saw was his best. And no blame, it wasn't personal. He literally didn't know any better. He truly didn't know any better. No blame. And right now, you're not there because you're angry and there's pain in there. So I get that. I totally get that. And that anger and pain resolves more and more as you get present for yourself and don't check out. So when that anger and pain is coming up, you need to be present to that because it's yours and it's there and it's great. And that's going to be the source of your energy. What happens is if the anger just kind of festers in there and we ignore it or push it away with food or with distraction, anger is power. Anger is power wishing to be harnessed for the good of the male, in this case, you. Yeah, I can be angry and punch a wall. That ain't constructive. I could be angry and abuse myself. That's not constructive. I could be angry and yell at somebody else who doesn't deserve it. That's not constructive. When we can start to take our anger and go, oh yeah, you have every right to be angry, by the way. If you're angry, you got a right to be. There's a part of you, I think, that thinks that there's so much in there that that it's just, you're not gonna be able to deal with it.
It's like a volcano.
Yes. So here's what I want to say to that. Good for you. You got a volcano in there? Like, damn, talk about potential energy for creation.
Huh.
How fucking amazing is that you got a volcano's worth of energy? Let's harness that sucker. So that's the source of your power. If you got that much anger, that means you have that much energy. You have that much power to do things, to accomplish things, to make things happen. That's all that is. That's what that tells me. People got anger all wrong as far as I'm concerned. You don't need anger management. You need to harness it. And harnessing it, first and foremost, means acknowledging it. Okay, I got this. It means feeling it when it's coming up to be felt. And it means not creating a story around it that ain't true. Story around it that ain't true. This anger is really bad. This anger is no good. This anger is harmful. This is some nasty volcano that's going to like do bad things. Like, no, it's your energy. And it's righteous energy, meaning you have every right to be angry. And once you realize you have every right to be angry, doesn't mean you beat up your dad. I might yell at him at some point. That's fine.
Yeah, I think
maybe, you know. But ultimately, as we get more comfortable with our anger, you're able to harness it because it's your power. It's your power that got diverted. So I'm all for the volcano. You got to yell, you got to scream, like move the energy in ways that work for you. Talk it out with your friends, bitch and moan if you have to, with the people that you can bitch and moan with. In fact, I want to make a suggestion. Keep an anger journal.
Okay.
Keep an anger journal. And it's just the name of it is Things I'm Angry About. You can go into the past and just journal everything you're angry about in the past that happened, everything you're angry about from this person, this experience, that experience. And you can use it as a daily journal as well. Things I'm angry about today that happened. What I'm wanting to help you with is for you to see that your anger, it's an emotion, it's legitimate. And whenever you're angry at something, there's a good reason in there somewhere. Doesn't mean you have a good reason to harm a human being or do stupid nonsense, but you have a good reason to feel that anger. Somebody didn't get me. Somebody didn't take care of me. Somebody didn't hear me. They did this. They did that. This happened. That happened. Angry at myself, whatever it is. And it's feeling the power of it. Because when you can feel the power of your own anger, then you're less afraid of the volcano. And all of a sudden, the volcano is not this thing that I'm trying to avoid. But it's just like, whoa, I got a lot of energy. I will say to you that I believe that my success as a person, as a business person, in my profession, in my career, certainly, is in large part fueled by my anger. I was so mad at the food industry, mad at the drug industry, mad at the medical industry, mad at every person that ever stuck me with a needle or did some dumb medical procedure on me or misdiagnosed me. And instead of just being an angry mess, I'm like, I'm going to do something about this with all that anger. So I found a way to channel my anger and to help other human beings with some of the same things I had to deal with. So your anger is your gold. Feeling good?
Yeah. That's a powerful reframe right there.
Right?
So instead of being scared of it, just welcoming it to the table, talking to it.
Yes. Talk to your wife about it. Talk to your wife about this conversation that we had, if you feel comfortable. Hey, we talked about anger and this guy's encouraging me to, really feel my anger and own it and acknowledge the power in it. Like just, even when it feels overwhelming, at some point during or after, acknowledge, man, that's some power. That's good. Eventually that power will be yours to harness. It's your passion. It's your drive. You know I'm right.
I do.
Yes.
I do.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything you want to share? Anything you want to say right now?
Thanks for the permission.
Mm-hmm.
For giving me the permission. Yeah. I wasn't giving it myself, to ask for help and to just love my anger and myself. Doesn't, that's things that really make me passionate and calm and bring me this great sense of ease.
Yes. And practicing presence always for yourself, staying present, always reminding yourself, Eric, I'm being present for you. In fact, even consider talking to yourself like you would have wished your dad would have talked to you inside your own head. I got you, Eric. Or I see you, Eric. Great job, Eric. I'm here for you, Eric. Like for you to say that to you as you're saying that to your son. It's all the same in many ways.
Yeah, I definitely need more of that in my life from myself, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that to me is where weight loss is going to come from. Because it's all about you being able to be present for yourself so you can nourish yourself well. It's about you being able to be with yourself and your emotions that overwhelm you. Because if I can't be with my emotions that overwhelm me, it's going to be impossible for me to manage my relationship with food because I'm going to use food to manage my emotions. So right now, you're using food to manage yourself, which is fine. It works to the degree that it works. So I would never focus with you on say, oh, okay, Eric, you got to do this with your food and that with your diet and this with your diet. Like, yeah, you can get support. I want you to get support and have accountability, but that's 10% of it. The other 90% is you incarnating into your body as a man like never before. Because if we want to shapeshift the body, we got to be in it as us authentically. And you're doing it. I think you've been on this path. It's not that this is a new thing. This is just another step in the journey for you.
It's exciting to that's how it should be. I mean, that's the goal. That's where I want to be, is inside of my body, embodied, not trying to get out. Mm-hmm. I got to refather myself and give myself these things that I need and I've been wanting. And it's okay to just let myself need them. Or, it's like this little voice like, oh, if you admit that you need that to someone, then you just seem weak. Or it's like, no, it's self-care. I need to do self-care.
Yeah, it's a strength. It's a strength to be able to know yourself and take care of yourself in a good way, even if it appears that it's weak to other people. Yeah.
Yeah. Great
job, Eric. Thanks for hanging in there with me.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mark.
Yeah. I hope this was helpful for you.
Beyond anything I could have ever imagined.
Oh, I'm so glad, my friend. Great work. I really mean that.
Thank you. Me and my son both thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is just so many nuggets of wisdom that are, I thank you for the permission and for the excitement. That's what I needed. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, I say that's a perfect place to say we're complete. Yeah?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay. Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate you being here with us. Take care.
Hey friends, we're so happy that you've joined us for another episode of The Psychology of Eating with Marc David. Are you loving these episodes? Then simply subscribe and you'll never miss an episode again. We'd also love it if you'd leave us a comment below so we can hear more about your own journey with food and body. And And if you're curious about what we offer at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, including our internationally acclaimed coach certification training that's rooted in dynamic eating psychology and mind-body nutrition, please head on over to our website, psychologyofeating.com. Until next time, take care. And remember, having the body you want starts with loving the body you have.